Two people accused of instigating the July civil unrest, which saw over 300 people killed and cost the country billions of rand in damages. They've sparked a debate about the fairness of the country's courts. Now, one of them, a 36-year-old woman, was granted 3,000 rand bail, including a condition that pictures of her not be published. On the other hand, the male figure was ordered to pay 40,000 rand bail. Let's discuss this now and find out exactly how the bail system works. We'll speak to legal expert Ulrich Roux, who joins us via the virtual platform. Ulrich, thank you very much for joining us. Always good to talk to you. Explain to us exactly how the bail system works. I've just managed, I think, to put in succinct form in that intro the discussion here, or the debate that has been sparked. These are two people who are accused of sparking the unrest that we saw in July. How is it possible that they could be ordered to pay two extremes, 3,000 rands versus 40,000 rand bail?
Hi, good morning, Toli, and I'm saying hi from Bella Bella in the bush. Yes, so, it's always a matter that is open for debate, the amount of bail that is set for a person when a person is released on bail. The fact of the matter is that each applicant who applies to be released on bail should be adjudicated on his own personal circumstances. A court needs to consider whether to release someone on bail or not, and more often than not, the amount of bail that is set is the least important of all these factors. So to quickly run you a Schedule 5 bail application, which is the schedule under which the applicants would have applied for bail, a person first and foremost needs to show that they are not a flight risk. So in other words, if they are to be released on bail, then their address and their location can be traced easily by the investigating officer. There's no ability that they will skip the country, so to speak, and not attend to the trial should it proceed to trial. Secondly, whether there's any indication that they will interfere with state witnesses if they are to be released on bail. And third, there a reasonable foreseeability for the court to find that they would commit more crimes should they be released on bail. So those are the three most important factors to be considered, together with whether there's any chance they will interfere with the bail system of the country. So if an application for bail is successful on those circumstances, then the amount of bail set, quite frankly, should not play such a big role. But we've seen in our court on numerous occasions, and I've argued this personally in court on numerous occasions as well, that once a person qualifies to be released on bail on those circumstances, then the amount does not play a big role whatsoever. So in other words, whether it's 2,000 rand or 100,000 rand, the person has indicated that they will come back to court to stand their trial. They've shown that they won't interfere with state witnesses, and they've shown that that they won't interfere with the bail system or commit another crime if they were to be released on bail. So a lot of the courts get it wrong when they set a high bail amount as opposed to a bail amount that is affordable. And application for bail should not be adjudicated on that factor, but more on the circumstance of the person who is
Ulrich, the line to you, not very good, so perhaps this will be a last question. The two alleged instigators here, the other element of the debate is that the one is, I guess the request is acceded to when she requests that her picture not be published by media, whereas the other person, it would appear that there was no quibbling as to media presence inside court and therefore the subsequent publishing of his image. The question here, Ulrich, is that the female culprit or the female suspect not only is given 3,000 rand bail, which you are saying is not really a big factor in terms of the amounts here, but the condition that her picture not be published, would she not pose a bigger flight risk? The fact that she's not known to the public, and therefore if she were to escape, authorities may not necessarily know who to look for, versus the other person, Mr. Mnisi, whose picture we know publicly, yet at the same time, he is saddled with 40,000 rand, and yet these two people are charged for a similar offense.
Yes, Solly. So what the court could have considered is the financial means and ability of the applicant. In other words, if the person that you referred to now could only have a 3,000 rand bail and she placed the financial circumstances on record, then the court would have deemed the amount. Whereas the second applicant, as you pointed out now, might have been able to afford more, and clearly he was able to, and that's why bail amount of 40,000 rand. As to the condition that her identity not be made public, it would have been an application made by her through a legal representative to say that there's good grounds why it should not be made public. For instance, that she could face attacks from the community on her as a person if people don't know her identity. And the court could have considered that as a circumstance to take into consideration. And if the legal team successfully argued that it should not be made public, then the court would have granted that. I'm not certain whether the second applicant that you referred to would have made the same application, but clearly the court did not deem that to be a factor to be taken into consideration, and accordingly, his public image has been made public and for people out there to see. But in bail application, it is up to the applicant to state his or her case through the representative in court, and to make it clear that their personal circumstances be taken into account, and that is then for the court to consider whether to grant such application or not. But quite clearly, the first applicant that you referred to now would have applied to court to say that I do face repercussions from the public if my identity was to be made public, and accordingly I asked that it is. Whereas it's clear that the second applicant did not ask for that to be made a condition for him to be released on bail.
Ulrich Roux, thank you very much for that explanation, and we do apologize for the quality of the sound there. He did say that he was on a break in Bella Bella, joining us in the bush there.